the traditional enterprise learned to live with delayed assurance. A process was designed, approved, run, reviewed, and eventually audited. Evidence accumulated after the fact, controls were tested periodically, exceptions were investigated when they grew visible enough to attract attention. The organization acted first, explained later, and corrected when weakness became clear enough. That rhythm was never perfect, but it was tolerable. Because the pace was bounded by human decision cycles, a loan officer could approve only so many applications in a day. A compliance team could sample transactions because the volume of significant decisions stayed broadly compatible with human review. Autonomous enterprises change that condition. When the significant decisions are made by systems acting continuously and at scale, sampling a handful of past cases once a quarter no longer tells you whether the system is in control now. The volume is too large, the behavior can shift between reviews, and the gap between an action and the assurance about it becomes the place where harm accumulates unseen. Periodic assurance does not just become harder, it becomes the wrong shape. It answers, was a sample of the past acceptable? When the question that matters is the system holding right now? And will I know quickly if it stops? So, assurance has to move from periodic comfort to continuous confidence. Instead of a point in time opinion that ages from the moment it is formed, the enterprise maintains a current opinion about whether each consequential system is still inside its tolerance, refreshed often enough that the opinion is never badly out of date. This is assurance as an operating capability, not an annual event. It runs as the system runs, monitoring the live behavior, re-evaluating against the cases that matter, watching the error and escalation rates, and surfacing a real signal when something drifts. The point is not to test more, it is to test continuously on the system's own clock so that the distance between action and assurance closes. Continuous assurance only means something if the evidence it rests on can be trusted. A signal the system generates about itself is useful, but it cannot be the only signal, because the same flaw that affects the system can affect its report. So, somewhere in the loop, there has to be a check that does not depend on the thing being checked, an independent reconciliation, a test run from outside, a reviewer looking at raw outcomes. There is also a failure mode to avoid, assurance fatigue. Watch everything, alert on everything, and the signal that matters drowns in noise no one can act on. Continuous assurance is not maximal monitoring. It is enough independent, well-tuned signal that a real problem is noticed in time and a person is positioned to act. Next, what that watching looks like in practice between the meetings.